Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa podcast. If you are new to our channel, subscribe, drop this video a like and get involved in the comment section down below. We'd love to see your teams, your predicted lineups on social media. So we're around 500 away from 10,000 subscribers. So if you can get there before the start of the World Cup, if you can subscribe, I'd absolutely love it. To hit that 10k number would be absolutely huge. And join us for the Unai Emery era, which has begun. I've loved seeing the clips of him on the training ground. I love that he came out in his little Adidas boots and his new, fresh, shiny training gear. The fact that he came out with a clipboard, I love. Full of tactics, and I've just loved the Unai Emery content. So let's just share a little bit of that content now. And I will show you what I really, really like about it. So, Villa fans, that was Unai Emery's first training session, and there are a couple of things that I really, really liked, and I've got my little eagle eye watching, seeing what was going on there. So you saw a clip of him working on the team shape, and Ramsey made a mistake, and he pinpointed the mistake. So the coaching is now going into great detail. We saw the clip of Ollie Watkins clean through on goal, and what looked to me to be the 4-4-2 system that he played. There was two strikers up front, there was two holding midfielders, and there was two players either side of the two strikers. So I think that's something to keep an eye on. And then the final part was, for me, the best part. Keeper sets up to play it from the back. We know Manchester United do that. We know majority of teams do that in the Premier League. But what we've never seen from a Villa side, and I can't remember, Villa fans, the last time I ever saw Aston Villa pressing an opposition properly. We see all of the top teams do it. We see majority teams in the Premier League do it. And we are the only ones that sort of have never done it. We pressed everybody, engaged with that first contact of that defender getting the ball. And I absolutely love it. And if that's a sign of things to come, then fair play. When I did my tactical episode, there's a few things that I spoke about, which I saw in those videos. Number one was the high press. I saw that in the videos. I saw a 4-4-2 system. I saw that in those videos. And it's just encouraging to see. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how Emery sets this team up. Some of the other things that I saw in his videos, he was out on that training pitch, putting his markers out. He was very, very hands-on, which I like. And I also liked that he was running around defensively, showing the teams what he expects in certain aspects of the football pitch. So he was really dragging them around the football pitch, showing them different areas of the pitch as well. So first day, I think it's gone very, very well, and I'm really, really excited. Now, that leads me on, Villa fans. That leads me on to the predicted lineup show. Now, we're going to have some fun with this. We're going to try and crack the Emery code. We're going to try and crack what Emery's going to do. So, what we're going to do, we got two formations we're going to go with. We are going to go with offset 4-4-2, and we're going to go with 4-2-3-1. Now, they both merge anyway, so they're both a similar sort of formation. It's just the one we know in a bit more detail from the Villarreal days, because we really looked into that heavily. So let's have a look at the first one. So this is the 4-4-2 offset formation. This is what potentially Villa can go with. This is potentially what I saw on that training video with Archer up top with Watkins, with 2 holders and 2 wingers. So this is potentially what he could go with. Now, it's personnel-wise, it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what he goes with. But I have no doubt he's going to go with Emi Martinez. The new goalkeeper coach has worked with Martinez at Arsenal as well. And Villa fans, before I start, I'd like to say that if I upset some of you by not picking certain players, then I'm just going with what I think we're going to go with. It's partly what I would go with, and it's partly what I think Unai Emery's going to go with as well. So, yeah, sorry for not picking favourites. So, we're going to go with Tyrone Mings. Tyrone Mings is going to play in central defence. I have a feeling he's going to bring back Luca Dean. I think Luca Dean will be back in the starting lineup. I think it's time for us to see the version of Luca Dean what we wanted to see this season. I picked him to be Villa's player of the season. Potentially, he could still be that. He's come back from injury, but I feel like Unai Emery is going to absolutely love Luca Dean. I feel like he'll be one where he really, really loves coaching Luca Dean. Centre-back partnering Tyrone Mings is going to be... Where is he? Callum Chambers. Because we're going to be playing out from the back, I feel like Callum Chambers is very, very good at playing out from the back. He's very tidy on the ball. And I think this is going to be the opening partnership of the Unai Emery era. And at right back, we are going to go with Matty Cash, who I hope is going to embrace Unai Emery, and he's going to be coached, and he's going to improve a lot going forward. He's going to improve a lot with his final ball. And what I would say about the final ball, Villa fans, is I've almost felt like for a few years with Villa, when we're attacking that, we get into that attacking position. So Matty Cash could have got forward. We could have 2 or 3 players in the box. And I've always felt like it's just been just stick it in there and just see what happens. If it lands on someone, then, it's all about my contacts. If I get my contact right, my ball's going to be really good. And then if someone can get on the end of it, fair enough. I kind of feel like those days should be done under Emery. I feel like when we get into those attacking areas, there's a purpose. There's a run, right? There's going to be a run from Watkins. There's going to be a run from whoever's attacking. I don't feel like it's just going to be, let's all get in the box and try and get on the end of it. I don't think that's going to be the case now. So in turn, that should improve Matty Cash's ability to cross the ball and pick someone out, that there's a plan. Whenever we get somewhere on this pitch, we move together, and that there's a plan of why we're getting into that position. Off the cuff, I think it will disappear slightly. I don't think Emery will want that off the cuff, just getting it in there and whatever. I think he'll allow a little bit of freedom, but in the right areas when the right people get on the ball. So defensively, Villa fans, that is what I feel like we're going to go with. Now, this one is a little bit more difficult to go with because we don't know where Boubacar Kamara is. And I would potentially say it's too early for Boubacar Kamara to start games. So with that in mind, we're going to go with a Dendoncker. That's who I saw in the training ground video as well when he played that 4-4-2 setup. It was Dendoncker. And I think we are going to go partnering Dendoncker. This one is so difficult. It's so difficult. I'm going to go with... I'm going to come back to it. Gonna come back to this one, Villa fans. Let me have another think. So on the left-hand side, now this is going to be on the left-hand side. We're going to go with Jacob Ramsey. We know this position has got to be sort of half support here, and then it's got to be half support here coming inside. So for anybody that's not watched my Unai Emery tactical episode, why not? You should have. It's a really good episode. It breaks down Unai Emery's tactics, but because you've probably not watched it, I'll sort of break down what this is meant to look like now. So, a double pivot. Predominantly, Unai Emery attacked more down the right-hand side, where in recent years Villa have attacked down the left-hand side. What do we want from Jacob Ramsey here? You might be thinking, well, he's not a winger. What's he doing out there? He should be a little bit further forward if you're going to play him there, or he should be in here. Now, this role is half winger, half number 10. So what you want is progressive carries down here, a little bit of width. You want him to be able to come inside. So to me, this gives us a little bit of defensive structure and allows us to be a little bit more compact and a little bit more solid, right? I kind of like Ramsey in this position, this new position. We saw him against Man City this season around here and he did really well. But I feel like here he could really, really flourish in an Unai Emery system. We go on the right-hand side where it's more offset. And what we want to see from here is more of an out-and-out winger. I don't know why it doesn't let me pick him to go there. Right, so we're going to pick a Leon Bailey to go there. So Leon Bailey is your out-and-out winger. He's going to be down and he's going to get up. But when he does go further forward, Matty Cash can go further forward as well. So it depends what side he goes. If he goes the left-hand side to do this, then we've got to shift it around a little bit. But I'm going to stick with, I think this is probably our strongest side in the sense of the out-and-out winger works. I know a lot of you, when I did this episode, was saying that Leon Bailey should be on the left and vice versa. But I'm going to stick Bailey here because I think although he wants to cut inside, the shape of the team allows him to be have a little bit more freedom on the right-hand side. So what I mean by that is what we see in this system is that the two forwards can go out wide and enable the two inside forwards to also sit a little bit more like this as well. So if that is the case, imagine a Ramsey running through that with the ball, that progressive carry from there. You know, we've got a Leon Bailey that's technically playing as an inside forward now on his left foot that can just bend one in there. We're not asking him to sort of dribble and carry and come inside. His natural game can do that now because he can be the furthest forward player on the football pitch. And a lot of the heat maps this season, that is what we've seen. We've seen Leon Bailey further forward. So I think this system allows Bailey to play really well, to be fair. So we're going to stick with that. We're going to go with the number 10 position as Emi Buendia. I think this can really suit Buendia. I think he's really going to get on with Unai Emery. And we're going to go up top. We're going to go with... What is going on with this system here? We're going to go with... This is going to be Watkins, everybody. I've no idea why it's not letting me select Watkins, but it's going to be Watkins. And then here we are going to go with... Who do I pick? I'm going to go Douglas Luiz. I'm going to go Douglas Luiz in my system this week, Villa fans. And this is what we're going to go with. We're going to go with... This is the formation for Unai Emery's 4-4-2 system. He's going to love Watkins. He's going to love Watkins when he's on that press. And I think with a bit more loving, which I felt like he didn't get from Gerrard. I think Watkins is going to start up front for me. So that is going to be my formation, Villa fans, in the Unai Emery 4-4-2 system, if that is what we play. If we go with the Unai Emery 4-2-3-1, then this is what we're going to go with. And I'm going to tweak it slightly. I'm going to tweak it. So we're going to go with Mings. We're going to go with Chambers. We're going to go with Luca Dean. And I want to see your team, Villa fans. I want to see you input these on social media. So all you've got to do is once you've done your team, you've got to just press the little tweet icon and it'll tweet it onto your Twitter feed. So we're going to go with, in this one, Den Donker, Dougie Luiz. We're going to go with, this is where it's going to change slightly. If we go with a classic 4-2-3-1. If we go with a 4-2-3-1, I've tweaked it a little bit. And we're going to go with pretty much the same, but on the left-hand side, I'm going to go Brendia. And I'm going to give John McGinn a game. So, basically, it's a similar sort of formation. And I'll show you why. Because if I do this, and then this, and then that, and then that, it is the same. It is the same formation, but with a different tweak and a different vibe to it. So it's going to be interesting, isn't it, Villa fans? It is going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting to see who Unai Emery likes and who he doesn't like. Because there might be a few that he just tweaks and he moves around and he brings someone back and we don't know. So I've tried to have a bit of fun with this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'd love for you to get involved as well and have a look at your teams. So that's what I think he's going to go with. I'd say I'm 60% sure that is what I'd say he's going to go with. And then I'd say the other bit is probably the 40% is a classic 4-2-3-1. Personnel-wise, it could change completely. You know, we just don't know who he likes and who he's liking the look of. But for me, I like the look of that a little bit. You'd have Boubacar Kamara in there anyway, if available. And I think that has got a nice little vibe to it. It's got something different. It's got a fresh approach. And, you know, I think when we start looking at these players and we start thinking of a 4-2-3-1 or whatever, and you start thinking, yeah, but he's just going to play the same players, but he's not going to ask them to do the same thing. It's going to be completely different. You saw him walking that ball, walking around, running around that football pitch. The shape when Ramsey ran out of position, no mistake. We've been caught, that we'd have a problem. Little details. And it's going to take time, Villa fans. It really is going to take time. But we've got to embrace this now. When I saw that picture yesterday of Suarez and Emery with that shirt, this is Suarez's man. We've gone big on Emery. We've gone 4.5 years on Emery. If we can have 4.5 years of Unai Emery, we will be right up that table. We've probably a trophy on that table, in that cabinet, right? And it's not about getting carried away. And I've said this before. For so many years, I've watched Villa uncoached, uninspiring, devoid of any ideas tactically. And I'm so excited for us to go on that football pitch with a purpose, with a game plan. I can't tell you what that means to be able to know that that's what we're going to be doing. So Villa fans, when you're at that ground on Sunday, be loud. Let's create an atmosphere in that stadium in which we haven't created before, because we need to. We really need to play our part. And I think, to be fair, what I'd say about the atmosphere at Villa is sometimes it's unnecessarily flat. You know, you go to a game and it could be on a Sunday, and it's just got that flat vibe to it. Don't know why it's like that. We need to stop that. We need to get an atmosphere from the off here. And the fan base, and I know you can't just do it straight away, but you've sort of got to fall in love with Emery and embrace it, because if you can allow yourself to do that, already the positive vibes are there. So that's what I've done anyway. Right, I'm off. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. We've got a new episode coming out tomorrow. New concept. So I'm looking forward to that one. Fan cams are back. We've had a 2-week layoff. Well, 2-game layoff with the fan cams. That's my fault. I've just not been able to stick around after the games. I had to head off home. So there was no fan cams, but they are going to be back for the Emery era to start it off with. So as many of you that want to join us, join us. We're at the statue. We're kind of at the back where the stage is, where the kiosk is. We stay there for a bit. So we've had a lot of Villa fans come to the last couple as well. So we'll be there. So join us up the Villa. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. And hit the like button, comment and subscribe.